Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all having a lovely Friday. My name is James Vigus, and I will be hosting this presentation with you today. I'm just going to give a few more minutes just to let any late arrivals join the presentation, and then we will kick off with a little bit of information about what the session will discuss and about our wonderful universities that we work with. Hi, Eric. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, and you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'll give it a couple more minutes just to see if anyone else joins, and then we'll start the presentation.
Hi, James.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Olamiji is the contact person in Imperial Education. So I would like her to introduce herself to her audience.
Yeah, of course. Feel free to unmute and turn on your camera if you would like. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay, please unmute yourself and welcome your students.
Yes, yes, unmuted. My name is Olamiji Omosonya. Actually, the corporate partnership manager of Imperial Educational Services. We're looking forward to this session being actually insightful and educating one for our prospects that are currently joined in the meeting. And yeah, we are happy to have this with you.
And thank you very much for your time, and thank you for all the students that are attending today. So just give you a quick idea of how this session will go ahead. I will be presenting on two of our institutions, Florida Polytechnic and Concordia University Chicago. And then at the end of the presentation, our partner, Webster University, will be joining. You'll have a member of the admissions team, the admissions director, Blarina, and potentially the recruitment manager, Samrat, who will give you a bit more information on Webster and a little bit further in depth. So with that said, I will go ahead and start the presentation. So as I mentioned, we have three fantastic universities that we work with. The first I'll be discussing is obviously Florida Polytechnic. Florida Polytechnic, as you see here, is a very cool and fun institution. This is a STEM focused university based between Orlando and Tampa. The area it's based in is called Lakeland, which is about half an hour drive to Tampa and about 30 minutes drive to Orlando. As I mentioned, this is a STEM focused university, so they offer engineering, mathematics, science courses, and various other interesting programs as well. As you see here, obviously the student to faculty ratio is extremely low, with an average class size of about 15 students to one professor. This gives obviously any student studying at Florida Poly a lot of access to their professors. You're not a number in a classroom. You have a lot of one-to-one time with your professors. And as you'll see down in the rankings, one of our very own faculty members is a very notable member of the community. He's ranked in the top 2% worldwide. So just to give you a bit of an idea, you have access to these brilliant professors that are known within their field very well. Florida Polytechnic as an institution offers 2 intakes per year. So January and August, or the spring and fall intakes. They are an accredited institution, and they also have the ABET accreditation. So for anyone that's looking to study in the US, you have to ensure that you go to a university that has an accreditation. This means that not only will your degree be accepted in the US, it'll be accepted around the world in any country you could want to go to and work and study. The ABET accreditation is also a very important one. The ABET accreditation allows any student that has completed a program at Florida Poly to work as well within the industry. It's an industry-focused accreditation. So as it mentions here, obviously Florida Poly is based in Tampa, in between Tampa and Orlando. This is effectively a corridor of tech, where a lot of the tech companies are basing their operations now. So in the local area, you'll find 11,500 high-tech companies. A lot of these companies actually come to our institution. They host fairs throughout the year, you know, employment fairs where you can attend, you can meet employers and get an opportunity that when you graduate, you'll be able to go and find a successful role within your local community in the US. A couple of important things about Florida Poly. As a STEM institution, when you graduate from Florida Poly, you'll have not only the standard 1-year post-study work visa, you also get the additional 2 years, which is an extension because you study the STEM course. There is on-campus accommodation available. The on-campus accommodation is fantastic. It has swimming pools. They have gymnasiums on campus. They have football fields. They have tennis courts. They also have a barbecue area where a lot of the students hang out, and they you know, have like grills in the summer and eat really nice food. So it's a really fantastic community. All the international students are welcome there. And you know, it's a really great place. So if you do think about going to Florida Poly, I would recommend looking at the on-campus accommodation first, because it will really give you a chance to integrate with the community on campus. So a couple of very important rankings. We know obviously international students are looking to make sure that they get the most value from their money. So one of the best rankings that we have is Florida Poly is ranked number 14 for best career outcomes. So that means once you graduate, you'll earn the best median high salary that you can. So obviously when you graduate, you know, what you paid for it ensures that you get a fantastic career at the end of it. And I believe statistically, the numbers are, so I think within 90 days of graduating from Florida Poly, I think it's 75% of our students have gone on to find a role within a tech industry. The other 25% tend to go on to do their masters. And some of the others, obviously, we don't have the exact data for, but you know, it's a very high percentage of students that do go on to succeed and find a career for themselves. And one of our final rankings is with regards to the tuition. So Florida Poly is ranked number 1 for lowest out-of-state tuition, and out-of-state tuition is what international students pay. The in-state tuition is if you're a US resident and you live in Florida. And you'll see the cost a little bit further down the line. If there's any questions, obviously feel free to interrupt me. I'm happy to take any questions you might have as we go. So this is a little bit more information on the campus. So as you see here, obviously the campus still is a relatively new university. So the main building, which I'll just go back one slide very quickly. The main building is the IST building, which you see in the picture just in front of you. They are increasing the capacity of the campus as well. So at the moment, if you see in the bottom left-hand picture, there is a photo of a new building that is due to be available for students to study in as of spring next year. So January, roughly, the building will be completed. This will add obviously another 85,000 square feet of labs, testing facilities, and technology centers. However, the IST building, the current building, already has supercomputer labs, entrepreneurship labs, cyber gaming and digital media labs, and a variety of different labs depending on what you're studying as well, including classrooms throughout the campus. So as I mentioned, obviously we have 2 intakes per year. What we've done is obviously due to the pandemic, we know it's quite difficult for students to get documentation. We know it's quite difficult to book visa appointments. So we are pushing it to the very last minute with anyone that is applying for this year. So if you do want to apply, you still can for August. We would look towards the end of July at the very latest to have all of your documents in and your visa appointment booked. If it's any later than that, you would struggle to get in on time to the campus, but we will work with you at any point to make sure we can, you know, give you the best opportunity to enroll with us. So an application form with Florida Poly is relatively simple. You need to follow the link. Obviously, my colleague Eric will share that with you, and obviously our colleagues will also share that with you so that you can go ahead and apply. Once you complete your application, there is an application fee of $30. This is non-refundable. You also need to send all your supporting documents, which I'll run through, to our service support email at gus.global. The requirements for obviously these programs are your English proficiency. As you see here, obviously the scores are mentioned. If you have studied at English speaking university, you can provide an MOI letter. So a medium of instruction letter. This must be signed by a senior member of faculty. So either the provost, the president, the registrar or assistant registrar. And we can waive your English requirements in that case. Also, we'll need a colored scanned copy of your passport. Please note all documents need to be clear scans. We can't see, it can't be a photo on your phone. It will be rejected and we'll request it again. And also, once you complete your application, we'll also work with you to process your I-20 and take your financial documents to help you book your visa appointment. Additional documents, depending on whether you're looking to study an undergraduate program or a graduate program, are in front of you now. So at graduate level, we require your official undergraduate transcripts and certificate. All of these documents must be evaluated by an evaluation service to confirm that it is seen as equivalent to a US degree. What we do for you is we submit your documents to one of our evaluation partners, AES, who you'll see at number B, and we do all the process for you. We also pay the charges for you, so you don't have to worry about that. We will do this once you have submitted all of your other documents, though. So we must have your reference letters, your letter of intent, your application completed, your transcripts, your English translation of the documents. Once we have all of those, we will submit your evaluation for review. And then once that's done and we have your evaluation back, we'll submit it to the partner, to Florida Poly for acceptance. At undergraduate level, we do require an essay. We also require either the SATs or the ACTs. These are compulsory and all students must provide them. You see the current scores at both graduate and undergraduate levels. So for the SATs, we require 1220. If you do have lower scores, do reach out to the team and send us across the documents. These are the minimum scores for direct entry. And they obviously, they are not guaranteed entry, but they pretty much reassure you that you will get in if you have these scores. If you don't, however, what we can do is we can work with you, look at your profile and see if we can make an exception in any other cases. Currently, the GRE exam has been waived for this year. As we know, it has been difficult to book for international students, given the current circumstances. So this is a little bit of information on the programs available. There are additional programs as well, but this is just to give you a bit of an idea of the tuition, the scholarships available, and the cost after scholarships. So as you see here at graduate level, we have two main emphases, the Masters of Computer Science and the Masters of Engineering. Each of these have their own different tracks. So you see, obviously, you can complete a Master's in Computer Science with a minor, in Computer Science. You can also do a minor in data science, electrical engineering. There's also mechanical engineering and robotics available for international students. At undergraduate level, obviously, there's a number of options, including health informatics, autonomous robotic systems, computer engineering, big data, game development, renewable energy and nanotechnology. There is a full list of the programs available, and I'm sure the team will be able to help you and share that with you. As I mentioned, obviously at graduate level, we currently offer all international students a guaranteed scholarship of 20%. You do not need to apply for this. If you enroll on the program, this will automatically be credited towards your tuition and will come off the total cost of tuition for the program. As you see here, so the cost of tuition, this after scholarship, is for the entire 2 years of studying at the university. So you'll be roughly paying just over 11,000 USD per year for tuition. There are additional fees, so just bear that in mind. These fees including tech fees, insurance, and a variety of other costs that you will incur, obviously studying and living in the US. So that's Florida Poly. Before I go on, if anyone has any questions about the institution or would like to discuss anything, or if you have any concerns, please feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to unmute if you want to ask anything about the institution. Or if you want to ask any questions in the chat box, I'll happily be able to answer you. So I see a message here from Timmy. What can you do to get the full scholarship for graduate fees? Unfortunately, we do not offer full scholarships for any of our institutions. If you are looking for a full scholarship, you may find it difficult to find a place in the US. We can obviously offer up to 20% for Florida Polytechnic. We can offer scholarships for undergraduate and graduate at CUC as well, but we do not offer any full scholarships. Was there any more questions with regards to Florida Polytechnic before I move on? No problem. Thank you, Timmy. So the other institution, as I mentioned, is Concordia University Chicago. As the name probably alludes to, this university is based in Chicago. It's about 30 minutes from downtown Chicago, either by car or by train. There's great public transport in the area. This is slightly more in the suburbs. It's in a very beautiful area, and this is very much an institution that has the US campus feel. So if you've ever watched a movie where you see students running around the campus in the US, this is what the university feels like. It's a 150-year-old institution with a very strong background in education. They offer programs from undergraduate level all the way to the PhD. We have a DAB program, a Doctorate of Business Administration, available in January for international students. The current student to faculty ratio is 12:1, with intakes in spring and fall, so January and August again. Again, this is an accredited institution. As I mentioned, obviously, Concordia University Chicago is based in Chicago. Chicago is one of the hubs within the US for a lot of businesses. This is because O'Hare Airport is actually one of the most commonly used airports for local flights. So if you ever travel into the US and you went to go to LA, you would probably have to stop at O'Hare Airport and then travel on from there. So that's why a lot of businesses base their operations there. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, CUC also has on-campus accommodation available for international students. I do always recommend that you look at staying on campus for at least the first semester. For graduate level, undergraduate, you are required to stay on campus for the first year, just to make sure that you are accustomed to the local area, and you take a bit of time to get used to everything and studying in the US. Again, two very important rankings for Concordia University Chicago, one of them being they're ranked 74 in regional universities Midwest, so they're up there with some of the best universities in the region, and they're ranked number 44 for best value universities in the area. So this is a little bit of information about the academic calendar for CUC. As you'll see here, obviously, we have very little time for the fall intake. So again, if you would like to apply, I would advise you to reach out to the team and get your applications across to us. There is still time to do this, and there is still time to book visa appointments and actually travel to the US. I know some people have had concerns with regards to booking a visa appointment. What I can do is I can run through with you maybe towards the end of this what my advice would be regarding your visa appointment. But the sooner you complete your application and the sooner you have your I-20, the sooner you can start processing your visa. So at CUC, we offer a number of courses. Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Someone wants to know the processes for WES verification.
So for a poly, as I mentioned, you don't have to provide a WES. We do an evaluation for you. We use a company called AES, and effectively what we do is you send us all your documents and we submit them to AES for evaluation, and we cover the costs in that scenario. For CUC, we have two processes in place. So one for graduate, one for undergraduate. Again, this is all done in-house, and you don't have to actually send anything off to the evaluation partners. We do that all for you, and we cover any costs that are incurred. Please let me know if that's answered your question. So you're not required to provide a WES. We will carry that out for you. So at CUC, we have two main graduate programs that a lot of students gravitate to. So we have the MBA program, which can be offered either in an accelerated mode, where you complete the course in 1 year, or non-accelerated mode, which a lot of students choose because obviously it gives you a bit more time to study, ensure that you're not feeling pressured, and it gives you more time to enjoy the US as well. However, if you're working for a company and then perhaps paying for you to study, and they want you to get back and working for them as quickly as possible, the 1 year option is a good choice for you. We also have the MS Computer Science program. Again, this is a STEM course, so this will allow you to not only get the 1 year post-study, but the 2 year post extension as well. Whereas the MBA, for instance, you get a 1 year post-study, an opportunity for you to work in the US, and you can also find a continuous employment after that if you meet, if you find a great employer that wants to have you on board. We do offer obviously a number of undergraduate programs. There's 100 undergraduate programs available at CUC. We offer all international students a guaranteed scholarship as well for undergraduate level. which amounts to $8,000 per year. And this is for the full duration. So every year this scholarship is renewed so long as you remain in remain with high academic standards, you'll continue to get this scholarship. And it brings the cost from 31,000 USD to about 23,000 USD per year for the undergraduate courses. In addition, we do offer scholarships at graduate level as well. These are GPA based and are guaranteed to students, so you don't have to apply. Once we do the credit evaluation internally, we will look at your GPA, and if you meet the requirements for the scholarship, you will automatically be assigned the amount mentioned above. And as you can see, the cost of the program are 28,275 USD for the MBA, and the MS Computer Science 28,275 USD for the MS Computer Science. And that is the cost of the full program. So you'll be paying about half of that per year. And obviously after the scholarship, you'll be paying about 12,000 USD per year for your education. So this is a little bit of information on the requirements for CUC. The main documents that we need are obviously your passport, your application form completed and signed. You must provide an English proficiency. Again, you can provide an MOI letter, so a medium of instruction letter, if you have been taught in English at an English speaking institution. If you don't have either of those options currently, we can offer you a password exam. This is an internal test that we do for CUC and Webster. And this test will allow you to do an online exam with us, and we'll be able to get obviously your score from them. It's very similar to the IELTS exam, except for it's done online and through GUS. In addition, we'll obviously need your high school transcripts and certificates. We'll need your proof of finances. And once you've been accepted and you've received your visa, then you'll be required to pay a tuition deposit invoice. And obviously at graduate level, we need the majority of the same documents. In addition, we do need 2 recommendation letters and a personal statement. Very important to note for all of our institutions, the personal statements are read by the universities, and they do check them for plagiarism. So make sure you write something that's personal to you. Speak about the institution you want to study at. Speak about why you want to study your particular program. If it is flagged up as being copied from online somewhere, they will reject it and request that you write it again. So just at this stage, I would suggest obviously always making sure that you do it and take a bit of extra time to complete that. In addition, any student that has a GPA between 2.25 and 2.84 for CUC is put on a probationary admission to start with. This just means that you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA while studying at CUC. All students that we have had go on to this have had no issues maintaining this, and your professors will take extra time and care just making sure that you graduate and get your programs done correctly. So this is the basics on the 2 institutions for a Polytechnic and CUC. What I'll do is I'll go back to the beginning of the presentation for anyone that maybe missed some of it and just run through any questions. I'd be happy for anyone to unmute themselves and ask any questions you have. If you have a camera, please feel free to switch it on. It'd be nice to see your faces and speak with you. So please feel free to unmute yourself now, and I'll be answering any questions you have. Hi there, nice to see you. Did you have any questions? Is it Frosh? So obviously, in addition to the presentation I've just given you, shortly one of our colleagues from Webster University will be joining, and they will be going through obviously a bit more information on that institution in particular. While I'm here, if there's any questions you want to know about Florida Poly, there's obviously the institution that is in front of you now. Please feel free to ask me any questions. I think there might be a couple of extra questions in the chat.
So there's something I would like to join. I would like to add to what you've said regarding the PhD courses or DBA courses that we run. We do not ask students to go and start looking for supervisors, which other schools normally do. We ask the students to make a normal application, just like as though he's applying for masters. And as it stands, we don't ask them to go and start writing thesis or proposal, as the case may be. You just have to write your personal statement to be up to 3 pages. So that's what we ask on that side. In case if somebody is having that in mind and may not want to say something on it.
Yeah, and just a note on the DBA with CUC. So this program is a very much business-focused course, and it's designed by business people with an idea of what is lacking maybe in the industry. So when you do study this program, it is very much driven towards making sure that you have the best opportunity going into a company. Is there any questions with regards to Florida Polytechnic? So just to give you some insight into Florida Poly, so some of our graduates from this institution have gone to work for the FBI, they've gone to get internships with NASA. There's been several students that are working with Amazon at the moment, and they are working on the how-to autonomous vehicles from 2 different companies. So if you imagine, I'm sure you know, Google and Amazon are both competing to create the first autonomous vehicle. So a vehicle that can drive itself, along with the likes of Tesla. And they're trying to see how 2 vehicles from different companies would effectively interact on the same road. Darlington, did you have a question? So in that case, I believe my colleague Lorena from Webster University will be joining. I will add her now, and she will continue with a presentation on Webster University as well. Hi, Lorena, how are you?
I shouldn't mute myself, shouldn't I? Hi, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. It's good to see you. Let me give you permission. Unfortunately, I do have to jump off once you get started. I hope that's okay.
Well, wait. You and I need to clarify something though. Do I have to do a presentation? Sam just said I just need to come for questions, and there's a misunderstanding, or?
Oh, apologies. I think Sam may have got his wires crossed. Yeah. So, do you have a presentation available for Webster?
Let me find my magic here.
No problem.
My apologies. Sam said it's just a Q&A, and I just if anybody would have questions, I can just come in and answer those questions. I apologize, everybody. I know everyone is here listening to me.
How was your day, Lorena? I hope you're doing well.
Well, it was doing well until I realized I have to do a presentation, man. It's okay. No, it's going well. It's going well.
So Lorena is our colleague at Webster University. She's the admissions director. We've been working with Lorena for a very long time, and she's always been very supportive, and I'm sure she'll be able to answer many of your questions that you have today with regards to the University Webster, and also any processes they have and admissions requirements.
Hi, before
Hello.
other questions come in, we would just like to, know what are the requirements to, because that's part of the questions we usually get from prospects. What are the requirements to actually documentations that are required to gain admission into Webster? Because we kind of keep people asking if they need IELTS, or is the fact that Nigeria is an English-speaking nation, is it enough to gain admission, or do we need to go through the IELTS or even have SAT or whatnot to be able to gain admission to Webster?
Well, it all depends on if we're talking about bachelor students or graduate level students. Because we still require English proficiency for our students from Nigeria. However, if a student is going for their bachelor degree and they've completed their WAC exams within the last 3 years, and they have an English grade of B3 or higher, we will waive that English requirement. If we're talking about master students, we still need English proficiency scores. And those that it's from TOEFL or an IELTS or Duolingo or Password.
Yeah, and we can also offer the Password exam free of charge for any students that apply to Webster through GUS.
Oh, could you repeat that, please? I didn't get that, what you just said.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know if it was just the last part. So we do offer the Password exam through GUS for any international students applying to Webster, and this is free of charge. So they can take the Password exam with us, and it won't cost them anything to gain admission through fully English.
Oh, that's nice. So what is required? How do we go about this? If I'm actually interested and I want to take this, how do I go about it? Is there a process? Is there anything I need to present? Is there any fee attached to, application and all of this?
So there is normally an application fee for Webster University. However, we are waiving it in certain circumstances. And I think anyone that's attending this session today, we could probably waive the application fee. Would that be fair, Blarina?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And then what you'll just need to do is provide us with the basic application for any students that would like to take the test. So we would need their application form completed, a copy of their passport, their transcripts and mark sheets. And then once we have those, what we would do is we'll then book in the Password exam. Eric can send you the password request form that we need completed. And then within a day, they'll receive a confirmation of their test booking, and someone will reach out to them to help book them a slot. So it's a very easy process to get a Password exam.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, one exam as well is Duolingo. I think you can just apply online to do that exam, and I think it's $45, but of course James' option is free, so either or I think would work. But we have a few options for our students to meet the English requirements, and we're accepting the online exams as well as an option, especially with COVID and knowing that a lot of exam centers probably are still closed. We know some are open, but some are still closed, so we are quite flexible with our students, and with different intakes, we can work with our students. If they cannot make August, well, October is 2 months away, January, then it's 2 months away after. So students will have options to start on the grad program, especially throughout the year. Are these all agents, James, or our students?
Are these all students? Yeah.
Students, okay. My apologies, everybody. I see a lot of, and I don't want to assume anything. So I do have a small presentation. I'll be more than happy to share that with you, just to give you an introduction for Webster and otherwise, or if you'd like to just do Q&A and ask questions, feel free to do so. Do you want me to just start with a small presentation, James, and then go from there, or ask questions?
Yeah, if you would like to. I do have to jump onto another session myself, so I was hoping to hand over to you and Eric, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah. Is there change of the visa processing? And I know the big visa questions are coming up. So I will try to touch that as well, but I'm going to go with a small presentation first so everybody has an idea of Webster University. I do apologize if some information is not related to that presentation. That is on my fault, but I hope you still understand and you can ask any questions you have. But I'm going to try to share my screen. If I can find. Do you see my presentation?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Do you still see it?
Yep, it's all still there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm in the office and I have 3 screens and sometimes I don't know which one is showing or not, but I'm going to give a small presentation just to let everybody know about Webster University if you don't know anything about it. If you do, if you know it, or if you attend any of the other sessions, and this may be some repetition, my apologies in advance, but the Webster University, we are over 100 years old. We are accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, which is one of the accreditation bodies here in the United States. And it is very, very important as you explore studies in US to make sure that the institutions are regionally accredited. There's a lot of accreditation bodies in the United States, but the key one really is the regional accreditation. There's 5 regional accreditation bodies depending on different areas of the United States, and the one where St. Louis is located, it's the Higher Learning Commission, and we have that accreditation. And what that means is your program, when you get a degree and you graduate, it's going to be recognized. You can go to master program, to future master or PhD programs, depending what your plans are, and that program is going to be recognized, as well as when you go and return home and work, trying to work in your part of the world, this program is going to be recognized by your government as well. Well, our main campus is in St. Louis, Missouri. We do have metro campuses around US, and I'll speak about it a little bit later. And then we do have a network of international campuses where our students can take an opportunity to either do a study abroad or maybe start in that one campus and then transfer to St. Louis. So we have some of those options. The campuses we currently have, we have in Europe. Those are located in Vienna, Austria, Switzerland, Geneva, Switzerland, Athens, Greece, and Leiden, Netherlands. We do have a campus in Accra, Ghana, and we do have a campus in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And of course, with also campuses and being 100 years old, we do have a very, very strong alumni network. And when you become a student at Webster and then you graduate, you'll join that network of all those alumni for the rest of your life and make some strong connections moving forward. As I said, our main campus, and this is the full-fledged campus that you imagine in US, where there's camp classes, there's big buildings, you have a camp housing, you will have student resources, you will have events. A lot of the stuff, it's on the St. Louis area, and you will have a lot of resources that it's going to be available for students when they come. If you do not know where St. Louis in Missouri is, we are right in the middle of the United States, and we are about a 4-hour drive to Chicago, or if you just want to fly anywhere in US, usually it's no more than 3 to 4 hours from St. Louis from east to west coast. We have a lot of services on campus in St. Louis, and of course we have housing on campus, and we do highly recommend when students start their studies in US. If you're an undergrad, you will be required to live on campus, but if you're a graduate student, you are not required, but we highly recommend you live on campus for a few terms until you get adjusted to the area, until you find a house of your own where you can move in or connect and make connections and find roommates so you can share the cost. The living expenses and the cost of living in St. Louis, it's really low compared to most of the United States. So as you make a decision on where you want to study, I know tuition cost is one key that a lot of students look at, but I highly recommend our students to look at the living expenses as well, as that will add up if you do not take that in consideration while you make a decision of where you want to study. But as for international students, especially for our graduate students, we do have some alternative campuses in the United States. One of them is located in Irvine, California, and the other one is located in Orlando, Florida. They have limited graduate program. A lot of options are here only in St. Louis, but there's options from MBA to cybersecurity to management leadership to finance that is available to the other campuses as well if you're really interested in those campuses. Because they're not fully fledged campuses, that means a lot of services that usually you'd find on the home campus, they are not available in those campuses. Of course, we try to support our students anywhere they are, but it will probably be on a virtual basis if you're trying to work with our office and you're located in either in Irvine or Orlando, just because our office is located in St. Louis, Missouri. And of course, the living expenses and the cost of living for these two cities is a lot higher than what it is in St. Louis. And just keep that in mind as you try to make a decision where do you want to study. How do our programs are separated at Webster? They are divided into 3 different schools and colleges. So we have a College of Arts and Sciences program, and usually under this program will fall from psychology to international relations to biology and science, programs. Then we have the School of Business and Technology, which is one of the primary schools a lot of our international students are interested. And all the business programs and computer science program, data analytics programs follow under this school. We have the fine arts. If you're interested and you're a bachelor student on dance or music or acting, these are some wonderful programs that fall under our fine arts program. For our School of Communication, we have a lot of programs on our bachelor level students. Unfortunately, for our graduate students, most of the master program in the School of Communication are online, so it's not a great fit if your intentions are to come and study in US. But if you are a bachelor level student and you know somebody who may be interested from film production to animation to game design, we have some wonderful programs in our School of Communication. And then we have the School of Education, and as you know, anything related to education will fall under that school. And of course, we have a lot of programs available, but again, a lot of them are currently online. So when if you're interested in any of the education programs, reach out to our team so we can assess and identify if you can start the program in the United States or if you have to do it online. Our application process, it's pretty straightforward. As I know as we mentioned a bit earlier before James departed the presentation, it's an application form, usually that's online. We will waive the application fee for everybody who's attending this event, no matter if you're a bachelor student or a graduate level student. You will need a copy of your transcript, we will need your English proficiency test scores, and then your passport and your financial documents for us to issue the I-20. If though you, and this is the major requirements for most of our programs, we do have some specialty programs like Master of Health Administration or Forensic Accounting, where usually there may be some extra paperwork required. And in those cases, we will let you know if there's anything else. And usually they will require a resume, a statement of purpose, or a letter of recommendation. But for most of the applications, really, this is pretty straightforward, the application process. And again, as I spoke a bit earlier, for our English proficiency test scores, we accept TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, and Password. The scores that you see in here are the minimum required for you to be fully admitted into the program. However, if your scores fall below those ranges, we do offer you ESL condition admission, and depending on your English level, it will determine how many extra ESL courses you will need, but we can still support your admission and your I-20, even though your scores may be below what we show into this slide. So just for you to understand what the process is, you submit your application at Webster with all your required documents. We aim to make an admission decision within 3 to 5 business days. Once you get an offer letter, we will ask you to submit your financial documents, depending on when do you want to start. In United States, we can only issue I-20s within 6 months. With your bank statements have to be within 6 months before classes start. So you and I will work together to figure out when do we need your financial documents. But if you're ready and we can issue I-20s and you provide the financial documents, we will issue the I-20 within 3 to 5 business days. We are submitting all these documents to you online. Due to COVID, the US government has approved the use of scanned I-20s for visa purposes. So you will get all this information online. So it's very, very important that you make sure you have the right email address when you apply and that you check your email constantly, because some key documentation will be sent to you through that email. And once you have the I-20, you're going to apply for your student visa. Hopefully things will work and you get the visa, and then you pay a deposit, which is non-refundable after you get your visa. We do not ask you to pay the deposit until your visa has been issued. We are currently, if you're looking for a great program, we have 4 intakes right now that we're accepting students for. So our first intake starts in August. Then we have one in October, we have one in January, and the other one is in March 2022. The application deadline for August is approaching. You can say it's June 15th. We are making some exceptions. So if you're still applying, we can make decisions and issue the I-20 up till the end of June. However, if you think that even if you get your I-20 in hand, there's no visa spots, then you are more than welcome to apply for October or January, and we can work with your applications in any of those intakes and make decisions as they come and work with you on the I-20 part. For our bachelor students, we only have 2 intakes, so it's either the August intake or January. Again, you can always apply for August. If you realize that your there's no visa appointments, then you can always reach out to, we can always defer your application, or if you just like to apply for spring 2022 right away, you're more than welcome to do either one of those intakes at this time. And again, we will waive your application fee. Just whenever you apply, make a note that you attended this event. And as your application comes through, we will waive it and then move forward with you to connect with you on the other required documents for application purposes and the I-20 purposes. Just to give you an idea of what the cost of living, and these are the costs. At the undergrad, it's a set cost of $28,500. We do award some scholarships. They're academic-based scholarship, and then we will let you know at the point of admission what scholarships you will get awarded. The average meals and housing and living expenses, it's about $13,000, and we have a health insurance requirement for all students, which is $22,700. If you're a graduate student or are interested in attending any of these campuses, this is the cost per credit hour, just to give you an idea how that works. One class, usually it's 3 credit hours. A student is required to take 2 classes per term, so you will have an idea every term how much your cost will be. And most of our programs are only 36 credits long. And I know I see questions coming through, so I will be almost done, and I will take the questions. I know the visa is a big part and the biggest concern right now with a lot of students, especially knowing that a lot of US embassies are still closed, and there's a lot backlog on a lot of their application requests. But just want you to know that international students now are considered an interest exception by the US government, which means 30 days before your classes start, you have the opportunity to reach out to the US Embassy and consulate in your country and ask for an expedited visa interview, stating that you will have a program that will start in August, and they will review those cases, and then if they can allow, if their schedule allows it, then they will be able to push some of your visa interviews that will be set later than August, before August. So keep that in mind as you prepare for your visa interviews. What I would recommend, if you have your I-20 in hand, or when you do, go into your US Embassy websites in your country, request a visa appointment, pick the available one that is there, even though it may be after classes start. Then 30 days before your classes start, connect with the US Embassy and request an exempt, and to be an exception, and for them to have an emergency visa appointment. And sometimes they will review it, and if they do, they can assess and make sure that you get your visa before your classes start. And if they don't, you and I can work together to make sure we defer your application in your I-20 for the future intake, and you are able to attend your visa appointment. However, I want you to know what options you currently have. What I tell our students right now is apply, submit all required documents, and have your I-20 in hand. The moment you have your I-20 in hand, you can go and apply for your student visas. Depending where the visa appointments and options are, we can then make a decision. Can I start in August? Can I start in October or not? If you can, that's wonderful. If not, one option I always tell our students is you can always start online and then come at Webster after your visa is issued. Let's say you initially wanted to start in August, but your visa appointment is not available till maybe September. Well, you can start a class online in August. You can work on your visa appointment, and hopefully if your visa is issued, then you can come in and start your own grant classes in October. So that's another option you can always evaluate. And of course, another one that you can always think of is, I applied for August. I don't think I will be able to go through my appointment, then please defer me to either October or January 2022, and we can support those requests as well. So honestly, right now, your steps are apply if you have not applied, submit all the required documents, submit your financial documents, so we can issue your I-20, and please be in contact with your admission counselors or our colleagues at Global University Systems to let us know where you are, where you stand with your application process, and how we can support moving forward.
Sorry,
And
some are saying that they need to hear you very well, that your voice is so low.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. I think they were stating them and I didn't see it because I was trying to do the presentation. I know it's ready and I'm going to open it to questions, but I just want to bring up the employment opportunities because I know it's a big question a lot of international students have. Can I work when I come to US? So we have some on-campus employments. Usually those are if you come to campus and if you find a job on campus, you can start working on the job on campus right away. There is no rules that you have to wait, and so that's one option you can always keep an eye on. Just one thing, the on-campus employments at this moment are only available in the St. Louis campus. The Orlando and Irvine campuses do not have on-campus employment at this time. Once you've done 1 year of study in United States, you can take advantage of the curriculum practical training, which is usually called CPT, which is the internship opportunity. We will support you in your process. We will give you the guidance, and you can work with our career services to take advantage of any of those CPT options if you find any. And then once you graduate, you will have the opportunity to work under the optional practical training program called OPT. Depending on your program of study, you can work from 1 to 3 years after you graduate. So these are the employment opportunities that you can keep in mind when you become a student in the United States and at Webster University. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so then I can go through some questions. And my apologies if nobody heard me very well. I apologize for that. But do you have any questions on your end, Eric, that you've seen?
No, I've actually answered the ones that they wrote on the question on the chat. And I would like to ask anyone who have any question to unmute himself. You can also unmute your video. It's actually open and allowed for anyone to unmute it and say something. And we would like to even see your face at the same time.
Thank you, Eric. I think that's one of our requirements as well. I tell my students I like to see their faces. So if you're strong enough to show your face, please do so. I want to say hello and answer any questions. There's David. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Anybody else? And I saw a question about environmental courses. I think it came from Oriola. We have an environment management program at Webster Oriola, but unfortunately that program is only online. So you can always apply for it online, but if your intention are to come to US, unfortunately not Webster.
Or he can also go in for environmental management as an MBA course.
Yeah, I mean, that is an MBA with emphasis in environment management, of course. Thank you, Eric. That's a great idea. Appreciate that. Anybody else has any questions regarding Webster compliances, visa opportunities? I know there's a lot of questions and uncertainty happening right now around the world of where we stand, and I totally understand it. But if you have any other questions, don't feel shy or just let me know.
One of the students actually said he's interested in applying to Webster University, and I've told him or her to actually reach out to Imperial Education. That's the education agency that we are actually working on their own side today. So you reach out to them, submit your relevant documents to them while they reach out to us with your document, and we'll make a proper application on your behalf.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. And as I said, the sooner you complete your application with Imperial, the sooner it will come to the Webster for us to review and make a decision and move forward with the admission review and then the I-20 issuance if everything looks okay. Any particular programs this group is interested, Eric? Do you know of any particular programs they're interested in?
Yeah, they actually the agent actually made mention of the admission business faculty.
Okay.
Though then they actually made mention of business faculty.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we have a lot of business programs here, so that's great. Any other questions? If not,
Hello?
Open your camera, just say hello. Yes.
Okay, I'm
Hafsat?
set.
Yeah, please, I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a HND actually, so I don't know how it works if I want to go for a master's. I have a HND in accounting, and I also have other professional certifications. But my interest is I'm interested in something in respect to fintech and maybe internal audit or audit or something that has to do with what's happening in the current environment. Maybe like all these things that has to do with fintech and business, basically.
So you are just trying to understand, you're currently on the business end, but you're trying to move on the technology end?
Yes, currently I'm with a financial regulator in respect of deposit insurance, just like FDIC in the US. Yeah. So we deal with deposit insurance. So, and I participate as an internal auditor. But I have interest in, you know, what's coming up now is more financial technology. So my interest is to get to know more about it because that's what the world is moving towards.
I would recommend a program maybe you can explore is our data analytics.
And I have a HND, so I'm thinking how is my admission? Yeah.
So you only have a higher national diploma, you do not have a bachelor degree?
No. Here in Nigeria, you know, HND and degree are equivalent.
No, the reason I'm asking, most of the time at Webster, our higher national diploma is not considered equivalent to a bachelor degree, though. So I'm trying to understand more on.
Okay.
But what I would do here, connect with Imperial Education, assess where you currently stand, and I know they will connect with us if they have any questions to see if there's any programs that will be feasible for you to attend, and with your credentials that you currently have.
Okay. Does sorry if I can ask, does working experience or any other professional certificate add the rating or the?
Most of the time at Webster, it's an academic-based decision. We look at the academics. However, I ask my students all the time.
The kind of way one can be considered.
Okay, I think I'm sorry. I know I was speaking over you when you were cutting off, so I apologize for that.
Yeah, I believe she was actually trying to know if her work experience can actually get her something, not minding the fact that she has a HND.
I will recommend. Yeah, I will recommend she applies with a higher national diploma and all the experience on a case-by-case basis. We will make an exception and we'll evaluate and offer admission to students. But we need to see the whole application, the transcripts, and then of course the work experience, and then we can on a case-by-case evaluate and assess and accept.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
So Hamzat, maybe when you want to make your application, you have to make sure that what's it called? Your CV actually captured all the things you've done, and at the same time, if you've had the other certifications in terms of accounting, you can actually join it. So that with that, we'll actually know where exactly your documentations are going to take you to.
Yeah.
And David, you can actually unmute yourself, David, and say something.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Please, I want to ask if you could run a program in agri, like any agri-related course in your institution.
Unfortunately, we don't have any agriculture courses at Webster, David. Are you looking in particular just on a bachelor or a master's level?
MSc to be precise.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do not offer any of that at Webster.
Thank you very much.
Of course, David.
Olufemi, can I unmute yourself?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am on TPF courses in risk management, finance, economics. Which of the university offer courses in that? And what is the what would be the amount in my proof of fund?
Are we talking about master or bachelor's?
Masters, yeah, sorry, masters.
Masters, okay. So on the risk management at this moment, we have a master in finance, on science and finance, and we do have a lot of certificates that are with the project management and organizational change that are part of our MBA. So usually what I recommend students who are interested in that area to pick our MBA program with one of our emphases that we currently have, and you can evaluate and assess if looking at what the emphasis or certificates offered with our MBA can give you some information on risk management, finance, and a combined idea on what you're interested in. But I would start with our MBA, evaluate that courses, see the course programs we currently have in there, and any emphasis that will fit in with your MBA will be something that will help with the risk management and finance options that you're looking for.
Okay, so you're telling me that I must go through an MBA. You don't have a course in MSc in risk management, MSc in any related financial courses?
No, we don't have one that's called that per se.
You don't do what?
Eric, I know you were talking. I don't want to speak over you.
Yes. I wanted to tell him that we have MSc in finance.
Yeah,
probably if you want to take that as an option. And we have it also as a dual course, MBA/MSc in finance. In case if you want to do it in that way, fine, you can actually come along. And if I may ask you, what exactly did you study in your undergraduate?
Accounting.
Okay. If you've done that, your MSc finance is there. And if you want to do it as a dual course, MBA/MSc, fine, you can actually come in
and Eric, I just want to say we do have a Master of Science in Forensic Accounting, which is really connected to accounting and audit. Yes. And it gives you the idea on the risk management on how can end when you find with the forensic eye when people are doing things they're not supposed to do on accounting. So that's another program that I think would be a great fit for you.
Then secondly, I want to know, my proof of fund, what should be the amount on the proof of fund, the maximum or the minimum? What should be my minimum amount?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the minimum it's about $36,000, but if you get a discount scholarship, sometimes it will vary from $33,000 to $36,000.
Okay. Then again, what's the school fees like? If I'm coming for MSc Finance,
okay,
what's likely the school fees?
So if you think about a Master of Science in Finance, the school fees will be separated into term basis. At Webster, when you come and study, we have 2.5 terms. This is when you work with 2 classes per term. So you start with 2 classes, and then in the next 2.5 months, you have 2 more classes. In one class, it's per credit hour. It's $750. So usually per term, you will pay for 6 credits. So it kind of will give you an idea. If you calculate 750 times 6 credits, I will pay this much on tuition. Our insurance cost is separated per term. So if you see the 2,700, you divide it by 5, that's how much you're going to get added to your term course. And that's when you pay, it's going to be on a term basis. We don't ask you to pay the whole complete program all at once. And depending if you're going to live on campus or not, then the housing expenses will be added to your bill if you live on campus. But if you decide to live off campus, really the tuition and health insurance is what you're going to be paying to the institution per term basis.
Do I need to pay any of the tuition for living in Nigeria?
The tuition is the same for all our students. We don't have a discount. So it's 750 credit hours. You multiply that by 36 credits because that's the length of your program. And then we'll give you the exact amount of how much your program will cost, at least the tuition end. So the tuition itself will be $27,000. Now, of course, we award 15% to 20% tuition discounts to our students. So if you get any of those, then you can deduct the tuition discount out of the $27,000, and you will know how much your total cost will be about the program itself.
Is actually asking if he's meant to pay any amount before leaving Nigeria in case if his visa is successful. Oh, yes, you are meant to pay $6,500 when your visa is granted.
Yes, and that all will go towards your tuition. It will not. We're not going to keep it for any reason. It's just to prepay for part of your tuition.
Okay. Which of the schools? Which of the schools are they? I know you have 3 schools now.
Webster University. Webster University.
This is Webster.
Okay. Thank you very much. No questions again for now. Thank you.
Thanks.
So please unmute yourself if you have any question, and feel free to ask.
Don't be shy.
You can show us your face, because you wouldn't be, you will not do only online. You can actually do in campus. So unmute yourself and let's see your face.
Okay.
Well, then Olamiji is the contact person in Imperial Education. Please, if we have something to say, can you unmute yourself so that we can hear from you? If you have any question also, you can also ask and we'll get it written.
Okay, I'm very sorry. I was actually in a noisy environment. I was trying to get myself into a more quiet environment. Yeah, so did you ask a particular question? A specific question, sorry.
No, we are in a Q&A question, so you can actually unmute yourself if you have anything to say, or maybe probably at the course of your discussion with students, you may have had something they asked and you would like to have a clarification.
Yes. You're actually, yes, you're right. So would our students ask if any of these institutions in the US have access, as in big provisions for students with a bit of, I don't know how to call them, maybe kind of physically impaired students or physically challenged students. I think that's the word. If there's any kind of provision, special kind of provision for them to be able to ease their learning process.
We do have an office called the Academic Resources that it's built to support any students with I mean, students from tutoring, but even students who have challenges that they need extra support. We do have that office here. So if you have any of the students who are interested to study at Webster, they can come. We recommend in St. Louis, because this is where the big resources are to support their education studies with any of the challenges they currently have.
Okay. Okay, I think that's about, you've been able to cover quite a number of questions that we get frequently from students. For example, the HND, can HND apply to masters? And I think you've answered that earlier. So that's part of the questions that we usually receive, and you've been able to touch on a couple of them. So sure, I think we're good.
Okay.
So if there is any other student that have something to say, you can actually unmute yourself. Just make the session lively. Let's hear you and have your questions treated.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Yeah, my name is Alima. I was the one who asked about the environmental science course, which was attended. Okay, I would like to know the tuition fee for the environmental course, since it's online, which is not on site. So
the online course program, it's the per credit hour, it's 780 credit hours instead of 750 that it's usually on campus, Ariola, and it's 36 credit hours. So really the cost will be 780 times 36 credits. We still will award you the tuition discount that should qualify for either 15% to 20%. And that will be the total cost if you want to do it online. Now, I know Eric indicated that you have an option to do MBA with an emphasis in environment management if you want to come to US as well.
Okay. Aside environmental science, because do you offer any other course like geophysics, geology, remote sensing?
Unfortunately, not at Webster, no.
No. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Right. I don't see any other questions on my end, Eric. I don't know if you do.
No, there's no other question. So maybe in the absence of any other question, we may call it a day. And if they have some other questions they may want to ask or to make the applications, they can go to Imperial Education and make their documents submitted on to the agency, and we will have it as soon as your document is submitted to them. And if you have further questions, you can actually go to them, and whatever you ask them, they will forward to us, in case if they are not able to answer you immediately.
Okay. Yeah, Imperial, and I mean, they can reach out to us.
So, Alamiji, is there anything you have to say?
No, all I just want to say is for inquiries, or if you have other questions, either of the numbers, experts in admission processes can easily help you transition into your admission processes in the US. So please give us a call between 9 to 5 p.m. Mondays to Friday, and we'd be glad to help you out. So that's basically it from us here at Imperial Educational Services.
So, Olamiji, I would like to also let you know, maybe subsequently, in case if you want us to organize another section that will comprise the faculty, as you have mentioned earlier, we would be happy to do that. The only thing we would like you to do, maybe when the session is organized, you have to give us information on time so as to get the faculty noted, and they will be happy to attend, and at the same time make a presentation on your behalf.
Yes, I sincerely apologize for the delay in the feedback. I'm so sorry that we got to you late and you couldn't get that to happen. But yes, subsequently we'll make sure that the information gets to you on time so you can make it. You can make them available.
Okay, that will be fine.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for attending this session. We hope to see you next time when we organize something like this.
Yeah, I hope, and hopefully we'll see your faces as well.
Yeah, definitely will.
I